Every day begins as a blank page, and every blank page holds within it the seed of greatness or the roots of mediocrity, depending on how it is written. The most successful men and women in history were not born with divine gifts. Others did not possess. They were ordinary people who developed an extraordinary habit, the habit of beginning each day with definite daily intention. You see, the mind is not just a tool, it is the master architect of your future. When left undirected, it will drift, wander, and settle for scraps. But when commanded with purpose, it becomes the engine of achievement. What separates the man who climbs from the man who complains is simple. One begins his day with a decided thought, the other begins his day reacting to the winds of circumstance. When you wake in the morning, before the world can impose its will upon you, you must first impose your will upon the world. The mind is most impressionable in those first minutes after rising. What you allow into your consciousness during those sacred moments either strengthens your spirit or weakens it. Begin with purpose. Say to yourself with feeling and conviction, "Today I move closer to my vision. Today I act with faith, clarity, and courage." That is not empty motivation. It is mental programming. Just as the body must be fed for strength, so too must the mind be fed with deliberate intention. You do not need a perfect plan. You do not need the approval of others. But you do need to be clear about what you want and why you want it. Vague goals produce vague results. A man who aims at nothing always hits it. But the one who fixes his mind upon a goal with emotion, with clarity, and with repetition awakens forces both seen and unseen that work on his behalf. Every success story begins in the invisible world of thought. Before it was ever built in the world, it was constructed in the mind. The skyscraper begins with a blueprint. The fortune begins with an idea. The transformation begins with a decision. The moment you decide what kind of life you intend to live, and you repeat that decision to yourself daily, you activate the law of cause and effect. You begin to draw into your life the people, the opportunities, and the circumstances align with that vision. But understand this: intention without belief is weak. It is like trying to light a fire without a spark. You must speak your daily purpose with emotion, with faith, and with repetition. What you repeat becomes what you remember. What you remember becomes what you believe. And what you believe shapes what you achieve. There is a power that awakens inside the one who says, "This is who I am. This is where I'm going. And this is what I will do today to move forward." That kind of clarity is rare. And because it is rare, it is powerful. The majority drift through their days hoping for change. But hope is not a strategy. Hope is passive. Intention is active. It puts your hand on the steering wheel of your life. Do not underestimate the power of one small, clear decision made at the start of your day. It may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time it becomes the rhythm of your destiny. A man who decides daily to think strong thoughts becomes a strong man. A woman who declares her goals each morning and walks toward them becomes unstoppable, not because she never had doubt, but because she trained her mind to serve her vision, not her fear. The world responds to those who know where they are going, and it quietly steps aside for the person who knows with certainty what they came to do. Begin your day every day with that certainty, with that clarity, with that fire, and watch as your life bends to meet your intention. There is no greater force in shaping a successful life than the quiet power of self-discipline. It is the cornerstone of all personal achievement. It is the unseen hand that lifts you out of mediocrity and sets your feet on the path to mastery. While others wait for motivation, for the perfect moment, or for external permission, the disciplined individual acts, not because it is easy, but because it is necessary. The battle of success is won in the small, private choices made when no one is watching. The decision to rise with the sun instead of the snooze button, the choice to say no to distractions when focus is required, the firm inner voice that says, do it anyway, even when emotion says otherwise. These are not dramatic actions. They are not loud, but they are powerful beyond measure. Every small act of discipline adds a brick to the foundation of your future. Men failed not because they lacked talent, but because they lacked control. They allow habit to govern them rather than choosing to govern their habits. To be ruled by impulse is to live at the mercy of circumstances, but to be ruled by principle, to command your own conduct, is to live with power. When a person controls their actions, they control their outcomes. When they master themselves, they master their world. You must understand this truth. Greatness is not found in occasional bursts of effort. It is forged in consistent, quiet, unrelenting discipline. To practice one small act of self-control each day is to sharpen your will like a blade. To deny yourself temporary comfort for the sake of long-term reward is to step into the realm of leaders. Do not seek ease, seek strength. Do not look for shortcuts. Look for structure. For structure is the secret weapon of the high achiever. Discipline is not punishment. It is freedom. It frees you from regret, from chaos, from wasted time, from missed opportunity. The disciplined person wakes up knowing their direction while others drift and wonder. Discipline builds confidence because you begin to trust your own word. If you say you will do it and you do it, you become powerful. If you say it and fail to act, you weaken yourself. Each choice either sharpens your character or dulls it. You do not need to overhaul your life in a single day. Start small. Commit to waking up at the same time each morning. Dedicate 15 minutes to movement, to planning, to mental focus. Say no to just one unhealthy craving. Take one task you've avoided and do it first. These acts, repeated, become a rhythm, and that rhythm becomes identity. You are not born disciplined. You become it by choice, by habit, by resolve. Understand that every champion you admire, every business leader, artist, warrior, or creator has faced the temptation to slack off. But what sets them apart is not the absence of weakness. It is the presence of will. They learned to say, not today, and they said it again and again until it became who they were. The beautiful truth is this. Each moment offers you a decision. Will you be a master of self or a slave to comfort? Will you build your future with intention or sabotage it with excuses? The disciplined man is not perfect, he is prepared. And preparation over time is what the world calls success. Decide, then act. Act, then repeat. And as the days pass, you will notice a shift, not just in your results, but in your spirit. You will walk taller, think sharper, speak with more certainty, because you will know that you are no longer driven by the winds of emotion. You are guided by the compass of discipline. And that is the mark of a man or woman who is destined to rise. What you feed your mind daily is what you become. The thoughts you think, the ideas you entertain, and the information you consume are the building blocks of your character, your confidence, and your capacity. Just as the body becomes weak without nourishment, so too does the mind become dull without deliberate feeding. The person who does not read, who does not study, who does not learn, is no better than the one who cannot. Knowledge is power, but only when it is pursued, applied, and absorbed into the mind with purpose. Every day, without exception, you are either growing or you are decaying. There is no neutral ground. Life does not reward the stagnant, And in a world that is changing rapidly, the man or woman who refuses to grow is quietly choosing to fall behind. The champions of industry, of invention, of influence, every one of them is a student first. They read, they study, they learn from every conversation, every book, every experience. They do not wait for learning to come to them, they chase it. Make no mistake, your outer world will always reflect your inner world. A weak mind produces weak results. A strong, educated, well-fed mind creates breakthroughs, wealth, innovation, and influence. You must choose each day what to put into your consciousness. Will it be distractions and noise, or will it be wisdom and insight? That choice, repeated over days, weeks, months, and years, separates the average from the exceptional. Many complain that they do not have time to read or learn, but what they lack is not time, it is discipline and value alignment. The man who says he has no time for growth is often the same man who spends hours in entertainment, in gossip, in scrolling. Understand this, time will pass either way, but whether you spend it sharpening your mind or dulling it is entirely your choice. 10 minutes a day of reading a powerful book becomes 60 hours a year of personal transformation. Now that is the compounding power of a small habit executed with consistency. You do not need to consume everything. You need to consume that which aligns with where you are going. If your goal is financial freedom, feed your mind with the strategies of wealth builders. If your aim is personal power, read the writings of those who overcame great odds. If your purpose is to lead, then study leadership. Not once, but continuously. Your results are tied directly to the information you digest and the action you take from it. And let it be said, the most powerful reading is not done with the eyes. It is done with the spirit. Do not merely skim. Absorb, reflect, apply. One idea that is understood and acted upon is more valuable than 100 that are forgotten. When you read, underline. When you listen, take notes. When you learn something useful, teach it. For that which you teach, you truly own. Some of the greatest fortunes in the world began with a single idea read in a quiet moment. Some of the strongest convictions were born from words found in the pages of a forgotten book. And some of the most powerful transformations started with a sentence that landed in the heart of a ready mind. Your breakthrough is not in the future. It is hidden inside the knowledge you have not yet uncovered. Oh, if you want to change your life, you must first change what you put into your mind. You are not stuck. You are simply underinformed. Fill your mind with strength, and strength will appear in your actions. Fill your thoughts with power, and power will flow through your speech, your decisions, and your destiny. Make it your habit to learn, not occasionally, daily. Let your mind become a magnet for wisdom. Hence, let your hunger for truth be stronger than your appetite for distraction. And as you grow in knowledge, you will rise in life. For the mind that is fed with purpose becomes the force that shapes the world. There is a law in this universe that few understand, but all are subject to. What you focus on expands, and there is no greater force to align with than the habit of deliberate gratitude. It is not just a polite feeling. It is a spiritual command. Gratitude is a magnet. It draws more of what you are thankful for directly into your life. The man who practices gratitude becomes rich in every sense of the word, not just in wealth, but in peace, relationships, opportunity, and vision. Most people make the mistake of waiting until they receive something before they express thanks. But that is not the way of power. Gratitude is not a reaction. It is a cause. It is a signal you send to the universe that says, I am ready for more. I recognize the good. I magnify it. I honor it. A grateful heart is an open heart, and an open heart becomes a vessel through which abundance flows freely. The man who complains, who focuses on what is missing, who speaks only of problems, tightens his world. He becomes blind to the blessings already surrounding him. He cannot see opportunity because he has trained his mind to look for lack. But the one who begins his day with thanks, who deliberately names the good in his life, even the smallest things, trains his thoughts toward growth. He begins to recognize what others overlook. He sees doors where others see walls. This habit of gratitude is not reserved for the easy days. In fact, its true power is revealed during the hard ones. Anyone can be grateful when everything is going well, but to look into difficulty and still find something to appreciate, that is the mind of a master. That is the soul of a person who refuses to be broken by life. When you are thankful, not just for what is, but for what is coming, even when it is unseen, you activate faith. And faith is the bridge between your present and your destiny. You must understand that gratitude shifts your frequency. Just as a radio must tune into the right station to receive clear music, so must you tune your thoughts to the right energy to receive clear blessings. If your mind is full of bitterness, fear, or complaint, you are blocking the very good you seek. But the moment you begin to give thanks, even for what has not yet arrived, you align yourself with the outcome you desire. You become a match for the miracle. It is not difficult to begin. It takes 5 minutes a day. Upon waking, before the noise of the world enters your mind, write down 3 things you are grateful for. Speak them aloud. Let your voice hear your own praise. Thank the day before it even gives you anything. Thank your body for carrying you. Thank your mind for its strength. Thank your past for the lessons. Thank your future for the promise it holds. This practice, though simple, is the turning point for many lives. And do not limit your gratitude to things. Be grateful for people, for moments, for ideas, for growth, even for the pain that shaped you. The man who is thankful for his struggle is the one who cannot be defeated. He sees every challenge as preparation, every delay as redirection, every rejection as protection. That is the perspective of power. Make gratitude your constant companion, not your occasional visitor. Let it saturate your language. Let it inform your decisions. Let it lift your spirit when circumstances try to press it down. A grateful person cannot remain small. They rise not because the world changes, but because they do. Their eyes are open. Their heart is full. And life, like a mirror, reflects that fullness back to them. This is not theory. It is a law. And once you align with it, nothing is ever quite the same again. The more you give thanks, the more you will be given to be thankful for. There is no greater force on earth than a man or woman possessed by a burning desire and moved daily by persistent action. The difference between those who live lives of quiet desperation and those who shape empires, movements, and destinies is not talent. It is daily motion toward a major goal. Most people wait. They wait for the perfect time, the perfect plan, the perfect feeling. But those who achieve understand that progress is not about perfection. It is about persistence. And persistence is a habit that must be practiced every single day. You do not need to move mountains in a moment. You only need to move your foot forward, one step, one act, one piece of work toward your chief aim. The universe rewards momentum. It does not respond to idle hope or wishful thinking. It responds to action. Action creates evidence, and evidence strengthens belief. And belief, when fixed in the mind with emotion, becomes the force that bends reality to your will. There is a strange and powerful magic in doing something every day for the thing you desire. A kind of invisible energy begins to rise around you. People begin to notice. Resources begin to align. Events start to move in your favor. But this only happens when you show that you are serious. Life does not respond to the casual dabbler. It responds to the committed creator, the one who says, "This is what I will do, no matter what." Not when I feel like it, not when it's easy, but every day. If you look at anyone who has achieved greatness, you will see the same pattern, daily effort. While others slept in, they rose. While others entertained themselves, they worked. While others talked about dreams, they executed. And what began as small, seemingly insignificant actions snowballed into mastery, into recognition, into impact. Success is not one giant leap. It is 1,000 faithful steps taken in the direction of a single goal. You must choose your aim, and once chosen, you must become obsessed with it. Let your mind turn it over day and night. Write it down, speak it aloud, plan for it, adjust your life around it, and most importantly, act on it every day. Do not let a single sunrise pass without moving in its direction. Even if the step is small, even if the progress is quiet, you are building the identity of a person who finishes what they start. And that identity is priceless. There will be days when you feel tired, unmotivated, even doubtful. But that is precisely when the habit of persistent action proves its worth. Do it anyway. Show up anyway. When you do, you send a signal to your subconscious mind that your goal is non-negotiable, that it matters more than mood, more than resistance, more than comfort. And in time, your mind will stop fighting you. It will begin to assist you. Ideas will come faster. Discipline will become natural, and action will become automatic. Most people give up too soon. They take 3 steps forward and stop at the sight of difficulty. But difficulty is the gatekeeper to greatness. It tests how badly you want it. It weeds out the weak, and it rewards the relentless. Be the relentless. Be the one who keeps going when others quit, not because you are better, but because you have decided that you will not stop until the vision in your heart becomes the life you live. Every day, ask yourself, what one thing can I do today that brings me closer? Then do it with full focus, full energy, full commitment. You will be amazed at how quickly your life begins to change, not in one sweeping moment, but through the quiet power of consistent pursuit. Those who act daily on a major goal do not need to chase success. Success chases them.